Alright friends, welcome to the video. Today in this video we will create this mouse tracking 3D animation in React using React 3 Fiber library. This is the basic 3D animation, very simple to build, but this project will provide you all the necessary concept of adding 3D animation in a React project. Hence, it will be the best starting project for anyone wanting to learn 3D animation. I am planning to create a few more videos tutorial on building different 3D animation project. So if you are interested in this topic, please subscribe the channel. This is enough for self promotion. So let's open the VS Code editor to build this project. I already set up the React project with TypeScript and also installed the Tailwind CSS. TypeScript and Tailwind are optional, so go ahead and set up your React project as you prefer. This will be the starting point of our tutorial. Once you set up your React project, we need to install few more React libraries to work with 3D object. First one is this React 3 Fiber, and this library is a React renderer for Three.js. If you want to learn more about it, please visit this site for their documentation. For now, let's install this in our project. To install, copy this, open your terminal and paste it. Once it's done, we will install another library called Drei. Drei is the useful helper for React 3 Fiber. If I know correctly, Drei means 3 in Germany. Another fun fact for you. Similar to previous library, let's install this too. After we finished installing these required libraries, now we can start building our project. First, we will import canvas from React 3 Fiber. Then inside our return div container, we will add this canvas just like this. Now we will add 3D model in the canvas. For that, I will create a new component model. To create a component, open your File Explorer. Here in the source folder, I will create a new folder components. And in the component folder, I will create a file named model.tsx. Now create a function model that return mesh. In the mesh, we will add a box geometry and mesh standard material. There are many and different kind of geometry and material in Three.js. I am using this box geometry as I am trying to create a gift box. If you want to add other 3D shapes in your project, you can easily do it by changing this box geometry. If you are new to Three.js, I recommend you to look at Three.js documentation for more detail. Now we will go back to app.tsx and import model. If we open the project in the browser, we can see this square that is our box. This looks small because canvas container is not taking full height of window. To fix this, we will add the class name SDVS to this div, which will extend its height to full screen. Now we can see this box at the center clearly. Right now, our box looks black because we have not added any light to it. So let's add it. In the movie shooting, director says light, camera, action. I think 3D animation is same. We need to set up light, camera, and action is this model. We can add light in our scene few different ways. One way of adding the light is using ambient light. We can also define the intensity of light through intensity props. Ambient light illuminates all objects in the scene evenly, regardless of their position or distance from light. So this is perfect for our project. Other light source we can add here is point light, and directional light. We can also set the position of the light source through position props. But I do not want to use this light in this project, so let me remove it. However, I would like to add another light source here, that is environment, that comes from Drei library. We can choose different environment from preset. I prefer Studio for this project. Now our canvas environment is brighter, hence the box is not dark. Now we will set up the camera. In the canvas, add a camera property and set its value to an object with a key position. The position value will be an array of the three numbers representing x, y, and z-axis value. I set the z-axis value to 7. That means we move the camera away from the box, hence it looks little smaller than before. Now I will add a background to the canvas using style props and color property to mesh material so that our box can have some color to it. For now I will set it to red color. This box is right in front of the camera, so we are seeing only one side of it. Hence it looks like just a square. So let's change its position. To change its position, we will add position property to the mesh. The position will be the array of x, y, and z-axis position value. The box now moved to the new position, and we can also see its other sides. In our scene, we want to add more boxes in different position. So rather than repeating all the mesh code, we want to create a component that returns the mesh. So in the component folder, create a file meshbox.tsx. In this meshbox component, we will return the mesh code that we currently have in modal component. And in the modal component, we will return our newly created meshbox component. Currently, we have only one box in our scene. So let's add another box. Add another mesh box to the return, then wrap this mesh box with the group tag so that React can stop crying about it. Currently, both boxes are at the same position, so it looks like we have only one box. To give the box different position, in the mesh box component, we will add a prop position that will be the type of meshbox props. Now create a type meshbox prop that has the property position with the type of array of 3 numbers. Finally, we will set the mesh position to position props value. In the model component, now we can provide the separate position value to each box. As a result, we can see 2 boxes in different position. Right now, these boxes look like just a red cube. To make it look like a gift box, we will add a gift wrapper texture to these boxes. I already have 2 wrapper images in my public folder. You also find an image that you like as a texture of your boxes. To use the image as a texture, in meshbox component, we will create a new variable texture that will be equal to useTexture and provide an image name to the useTexture hook. Now, instead of color, in the material, we will add a map equals to texture. Also import the useTexture hook from Drei library. In the browser, now we can see wrapper texture in the box. But we want to add the separate texture to each box. So we will remove this texture from meshbox component. Instead, we will add the texture prop to it. Also, we need to update meshbox props. Here, texture will be type of texture that comes from Drei library. We can also remove use texture import from here. Now in modal component, we will create a texture list variable that is equal to use texture. As we need multiple texture, we can provide image names in an array. In the mesh box, we can add any texture from texture list just like this. If we check the browser, we can see we successfully created two 3D boxes with different texture on it. These are simple boxes. Now let's see how can we create and add some complex 3D object in our scene. If you want to create your own 3D model, you can do it by using 3D modeling software like Blender. Just save your model in GLB file format, which we can use in our project. The easier option is to download a 3D model that you like from website like Sketchfab. Just don't forget to check their license agreement for its use. I am using this model, and you can download it by clicking here and download this GLB file. Another model I am using in this project is this model, and you can download this similarly to previous one. Put your downloaded GLB files in the public directory. We will add those 3D model in the group by creating giftbox component. So create a file giftbox.tsx and create a giftbox function. Here we will return the mesh. In the mesh, this time we do not want to add box geometry. We want to add primitive with object property. To pass the value to the object, we will get the scene from useGLTF hook that comes from Drei library, and we need to pass a file name here. Now object value will be scene. Save this and go to the model component and import giftbox here. This giftbox we can now see in our scene. This looks very small, so let's scale up its size. So in this mesh, first we will add a position, then we will set its scale to 3. This is how it looks for now. Here I would like to add another gift box, but each gift box should have different scene, scale and position. So we will add props to this component. We need position, scale and path of scene. And this will be giftbox prop type. Now we will get our scene from the path. Scale will be scale and position equal to position. Now in the model component, provide different position, scale and path to each gift box. In the browser, we can see new boxes we just added. Time to add a text at the center. If you want to add a 3D text, you can do so by adding text here that we can get from Drei. But I don't want 3D text, so I will just remove it. I will just use h1 heading for adding text. On the app.tsx, wrap this return div with another div. On this canvas container div, we will add a few class name to give it a style of position fix and jet-index 0, so that it can be behind heading of the page. Here, let's add a div tag with h1 tag in it. Give a style to this div and h1 as you like. I style it in a way that heading can be at the center of the page, and I try to make it looks little nicer. After all this is how it looks like. All our boxes appears to be at stationary position, so let's add the floating effect to it. It is actually very easy to add floating effect. We just need to wrap mesh group with float component that we need to import from Drei library. We can also set the float speed, rotation intensity and float intensity through props. And just like that, the boxes looks like it's floating. Next, we will add mouse interaction animation to the gift boxes. To add 3D model animation, we will use frame hook of React 3 Fiber. We can use this hook only inside the canvas, so in the model component, we will add use frame hook. The use frame hook is invoked continuously, so we will get the continuous smooth animation. From this hook, we can also get the pointer, which gives us the X and Y position of mouse. But I will not use this pointer. We will simply create a custom hook that returns X and Y position of mouse. So open the File Explorer and inside the source folder, create a folder hooks. And in this hooks folder, we will create a custom hook file use mouse position.tsx. This hook function will return the X and Y position of mouse. To get that mouse position, we will use effect hook. In the use effect hook, we will add the mouse move event listener to the window, and we will invoke get mouse position function on this event. And to clean up the event, return a function removing event listener. Now we need to create our get mouse position function. From the mouse event, we can get client X and client Y value. Now we will install the final library for this project, that is motion, also known as framer motion. Once the installation is done, we will add a variable mouse position. This will be equal to an object with the key X and Y. The both X and Y value will be equal to use motion value 0. Now, whatever the value we get from client X and client Y, we will set it to mouse position X and Y respectively. Client X and client Y value can be different in different windows depending upon its width and height. So to make it simple, we want the X and Y value of mouse position to be in the range of -1 to +1. For that, we will divide the client X by width and client Y with height. This gives the value between 0 to 1. If we subtract it by -0.5, now we will get the value between -0.5 to +0.5. Now if we multiply it by 2, we will get the value between -1 to +1. Finally, we will return the X as mouse position X and Y as mouse position Y. In the model component, we will get the X and Y value from use mouse position hook. Now we can use this X and Y value to animate our mesh boxes. First, in the group, we will add a ref equal to group ref. Then we need to create the group ref using use ref hook. Set its initial value to null and type to group. Now in the use frame hook, check if group ref.current is not null. On the group ref current children, we want to run a for each loop from which we can get the each mesh children and its index. In each mesh, we want to add a rotation on x-axis that will depend on the Y value of mouse position. Similarly, add rotation on y-axis on the basis of mouse position X. Now we can see mouse interaction animation. All boxes are rotating on the basis of mouse position. We can see two problems with current animation. First, the animation does not have any easing transition, so it looks robotic. And the next problem is every boxes are rotating with the same amount, so animation has no variation and it looks monotonous. So let's fix it. To add some springiness to our animation, in this use mouse position hook, we will add another variable spring mouse position. It will be equal to an object with a key x and y. The x value will be use spring mouse position x and y value will be use spring mouse position y. And this use spring hook is coming from motion library. In this use spring, we can also add a properties like stiffness, damping and mass to configure the spring physics. Now instead of mouse position x and y, we will return the spring mouse position x and y. We can now see our boxes has spring effect to its animation. Currently all boxes are rotating with same amount, so let's fix it too. Here in the model component, let's create an array rotation multiplier. Now in this loop, we will create a variable multiplier that will be equal to the value of rotation multiplier at the index position. Then we will multiply this multiplier with rotation value. This will cause every mesh to have different rotation value. This works just fine as we currently have 4 mesh and same number of value in the rotation multiplier array. However, in the future, if we add any more gift boxes in the group, then it will give us an error, because then index will be greater than rotation multiplier length. Either at that time we need to add more values to rotation multiplier, or we can update this code to not get that error. So instead of this index, we will say index module rotation multiplier dot length. This simply means its value can only be between 0 to rotation multiplier length. Now in the browser we can notice each of the boxes are rotating with different amount. The final thing I want to do in this project is to add some camera movement on mouse move. From use frame hook we can access camera and we can set camera position just like this. Now the camera position depends on x and y position of mouse, and we can adjust this value according to how strong movement we want. Due to the camera movement, it seems like boxes are not just rotating but also moving little bit from its position. One thing that I notice here is if I move mouse up and down, boxes follows the mouse, but when I move the pointer in x-axis, boxes moves on opposite direction. So to fix it, we can change x.get to negative x.get. And camera movement is too much, so let's reduce that. And this is the final outcome. Now that you know the basic of 3D animation and mouse interaction, use your imagination, tweak animation values and create different shapes and model, and have fun floating it on your website. That's all for this video. Hit the like button if this was helpful, and thank you for watching my video. See you on next one.